Imagine waking up one day to discover that what you see on TV, the chants echoing through the streets, and even the posts on social media aren't natural truths but a meticulously staged script. What would happen if someone like Elon Musk, a quirky billionaire with wild ideas, accidentally tore through that curtain? In recent months, Musk has not only been at the center of controversies but has also become the #1 enemy of a power structure many Americans didn't even know existed. This isn't a tale of a lone hero against the world, but a deep dive into how money, media, and politics intertwine to shape America in 2025. In 2022, when Elon Musk shelled out $44 billion to buy Twitter, now X, he was hailed as a knight of free speech. Promising to restore voices silenced by big tech's harsh policies, Musk quickly became an icon for those who felt marginalized in America's culture war. From censored conservatives to independent journalists, they saw in him a challenger to the tech and media elite. But by 2025, that halo had faded into a harsh reality. Musk wasn't just criticized, he was hunted by an organized campaign, targeting him and his business empire. Anti-Musk protests erupted across the U.S. from Tesla's headquarters in Fremont, California, with banners reading "Punish Musk" to vandalized showrooms in New York, and even Republican Party gatherings in Texas and Florida, places where he was once celebrated. What stands out is the synchronized messaging and organization, amplified instantly by outlets like CNN, MSNBC, and NBC, suggesting a calculated campaign rather than spontaneous outrage. Numerous sources, including documents Musk released on X, point to ActBlue, the Democratic Party's largest fundraising platform, as the hub of this wave. ActBlue has long marketed itself as a bridge between ordinary people and politicians, a place where working folks could chip in a few dollars to support their favorite candidates. But recent reports paint a different picture. Millions of dollars flowing through ActBlue don't come from average Americans, but from repeated, untraceable transactions. Some funds have even been linked to foreign entities like China and Iran, nations with interests opposed to the U.S. Even more shocking is ActBlue's deliberate security flaw. The platform doesn't require the CVV code on credit cards, a basic safeguard any online shopping site uses. The result? Anyone, from anywhere in the world, can pump money into the system without identity verification. This isn't mere negligence. Many argue it's a mechanism designed to obscure the true origins of the cash, turning ActBlue from a democratic tool into a shadowy financial machine serving power. Does this sound like a Hollywood script yet? Musk, the eccentric billionaire with world-changing ideas, facing off against an evil empire run by George Soros and other leftist tycoons. Soros, founder of the Open Society Foundations, has long been accused by Republicans of bankrolling radical movements to upend America's political order. Leaked documents show money from Soros-linked organizations funneled through ActBlue, split into campaign funds for Democratic politicians, protest groups like the Troublemakers or Rise and Resist, and even major media outlets. Beyond Soros, names like Reid Hoffman and Herbert Sandler are also suspected of feeding this financial web. But let's pause and look at the flip side. Is Musk truly the hero he claims to be? By releasing damning documents on X, Musk didn't just attack ActBlue. He positioned himself as a guardian of American democracy against foreign interference. His supporters, including conservative figures like Senator Rand Paul, praise him for speaking the truth. Yet critics like Senator Elizabeth Warren and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez argue Musk is merely wielding his wealth and power to crush political rivals while expanding his influence in a polarized America. Warren publicly called Musk a threat to democracy during a Senate hearing in January 2025, accusing him of using X as a personal weapon rather than a fair platform. Whichever side you take, one fact is undeniable. This battle goes far beyond Musk or Soros. It raises a core question about how money shapes the American people's voice. If ActBlue is indeed a money laundering tool, who are the ultimate beneficiaries? And if Musk is right, why is he the sole target while other billionaires like Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg seem to get a pass? Perhaps the answer lies in Musk's own actions. By buying Twitter and dismantling its censorship layers, he broke the elite's grip on information control, something none of them can forgive. Musk's showdown with ActBlue isn't just a personal battle, it's a symbolic clash between two visions of power. For Musk, power stems from transparency and the ability to challenge the status quo. He uses X to expose what he calls a manipulation machine. For those behind ActBlue, power lies in controlling the narrative, from the flow of money to the flow of news, without the public ever noticing. The anti-Musk protests aren't just about hurting Tesla or SpaceX. They're a message to anyone who dares step out of line. No one is allowed to disrupt the system. But what makes Musk a particular target? Perhaps it's because he's not just any billionaire. He's the man who turned improbable ideas like electric cars and space travel into reality. And now he's attempting the same with American politics. By releasing documents about ActBlue, he didn't just attack a platform. He called into question the legitimacy of an entire party, the Democrats, on the eve of the 2026 midterm election. In a nation where trust in institutions is at its lowest in decades, Musk's actions are both a beacon of enlightenment and a catalyst for chaos. Ultimately, this war isn't about who's right or wrong, it's about who will define America's future. Musk may be the spark, but he's not the only one affected. Every American, from the average voter to journalists, from entrepreneurs to politicians, is part of this story. Are we witnessing the collapse of a manipulative system, or merely its replacement, with one controlled by Musk and his ilk? Leave a comment below. Your thoughts could help us better understand what's unfolding. And if you find this content thought-provoking, hit like, share, and subscribe. We're pushing to reach our first 1,000 subscribers to bring you even deeper analyses. Join us in uncovering the truth. When Elon Musk released the damning ActBlue documents on X in early 2025, the power structure he targeted didn't sit idly by. The response was swift and fierce, like a machine pre-programmed to protect itself. Tesla, the crown jewel of Musk's business empire, was immediately hit by the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and the Department of Justice, DOJ. Investigations were launched under the guise of worker safety concerns at Nevada factories and monopolistic practices in the electric vehicle industry. No concrete evidence was released right away, but the timing raised eyebrows. Was this legitimate oversight or political retaliation? SpaceX, the company that elevated Musk's national influence through contracts with NASA and the Pentagon, wasn't spared either. Key military contracts with the U.S. Department of Defense were paused or placed under review with no clear explanation. Meanwhile, major banks like JP Chase, once close financial allies of Musk, began taking subtle but harsh steps. Loan interest rates for Tesla and SpaceX projects skyrocketed, piling financial pressure on a man once seen as untouchable. This wasn't just a personal attack. It was a coordinated effort to strangle Musk's influence on every front. ActBlue, the epicenter of the storm Musk ignited, didn't escape unscathed either. In early 2025, 7 senior officials from the organization abruptly resigned without offering any public explanation. George Soros, one of its biggest backers through the Open Society Foundations, paused his contributions, a rare move from a man known for unwavering support of political causes. But don't assume the machine has collapsed. What followed suggests this was just the beginning of a broader restructuring. Political observers quickly noted that ActBlue's silence wasn't a sign of surrender but a calculated retreat. While the organization faced public pressure and investigations on the surface, the Democratic Party quietly began building alternative platforms. New names haven't been officially revealed, but insider sources suggest groups like Future Forward or newly formed Political Action Committees, PACs, are being set up to take over ActBlue's role. The goal remains unchanged: keep money flowing into election campaigns and social movements, but under a new, less vulnerable facade. Within the Democratic Party, an underground power struggle erupted. The moderate wing, led by Senator Chuck Schumer, a longtime Senate pillar, called for transparency reforms to calm the public and avert a full-blown crisis. In a February 2025 speech in New York, Schumer stressed, The Democratic Party must regain the people's trust by cleaning up its financial system, but this plea was dismissed as weak compromise by the progressive faction, led by Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC. AOC and her allies didn't just want to save Act Blue. They saw this as a chance to purge the party's conservative old guard, paving the way for a new generation to take control. In a March 2025 Instagram post, AOC wrote, "This isn't the time for patchwork fixes. It's time to rebuild from the roots." Meanwhile, the Republican Party didn't miss the chance to seize the moment. Senator Ted Cruz, one of the most outspoken voices in Congress, led the charge for a full investigation into Act Blue. At a March 2025 rally in Texas, Cruz declared, "If what Musk says is true, we're facing a scandal bigger than Watergate. Congress can't just sit back." His allies, like Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, went even further, branding Act Blue a tool of global socialism meant to undermine American democracy. While overtly political, these calls added pressure to the system, forcing both parties to confront a larger question. What will become of American democracy when money and power are so tightly intertwined? The showdown between Musk and the system isn't just a personal fight or a dispute over political finance. It's a symbol of an America torn between transparency and control. As Tesla and SpaceX face attacks, as Act Blue wavers, and as both parties descend into internal strife, what emerges isn't total collapse, but the system's terrifying adaptability. Act Blue may vanish under its current name, but the mechanisms it represents, uncontrolled cash flows, the coordination of politics and media, and the influence of elites, won't fade so easily. Musk, with all his audacity, has forced the system to reveal itself, but he's also made himself an unavoidable target. Tesla might weather the investigations, SpaceX might reclaim its contracts, but the cost Musk pays is growing isolation from traditional financial and political circles. Conversely, the Democratic Party, though in disarray, has the resources to restructure and carry on. Schumer's moderate faction might win in the short term by sacrificing Act Blue to save the party, but AOC's progressive wing is biding its time to reshape the entire movement in their image. This power struggle isn't just about Musk or Act Blue. It's about who will shape American democracy in the decade ahead. As the U.S. heads into the 2026 midterms, with an economy still struggling and political polarization at its peak, the question isn't whether the system will change, but what it will evolve into. Musk may have lit the fire, but will that flame illuminate or burn down? What's left of trust in American institutions? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. 2025 marks the moment everything began to shift, not due to collapse, but due to the rebirth of a machine more powerful than ever. Do you believe the American political system is truly changing? Or is this just another act in the elite's play? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your voice. Don't forget to like and share if you want to dive deeper with us. Our channel is aiming for its first 1,000 subscribers, and each subscription fuels our mission to keep bringing you the truth. Help us hit that milestone. As America moves into mid-2025, with the midterms looming and the economy still shaky post-pandemic, the biggest question isn't whether Musk will survive, but who really holds the reins. Act Blue might fall, but those behind it, from Soros to shadowy billionaires, remain, ready to rewrite the script. Musk, with all his wealth and influence, has proven one person can shake the system. But in a country where money buys even the truth, does the truth have the strength to prevent? America stands at a crossroads, and each of us, not just Musk, will determine the path forward.